We are live on Facebook now. So, welcome, Seema. Hi, how are you?
Hi Anjali, I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Yes, tell us about yourself.
Uh, I'm Seema Shastry, and my background is I was in advertising and CRM for about 14 odd years, and after that I also worked with Caregiver Saathi as a coordinator for the internship and volunteer program. I took Caregiver Saathi to a few colleges, and then I've been a full time mom since I quit advertising.
It's great to have you back in one of these conversations.
Yeah.
Tell us about your family.
My family is my husband Rajiv, my two children Kia and Krishiv, teenagers, and I had a lovely dog called Pepper, who was actually my first baby. She's no more right now, and I have my mom staying with me.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So, how has your caregiving journey been? How did you start your journey as a caregiver?
I think I became a caregiver about a few years back when my dad passed away and mom stayed with me. She stays with me and with my sister, but for the last couple of years, she's been with me. And after that, the last 2 years back, I became a caregiver to my husband. He was diagnosed with ALS. It's a motor neuron disease. So yeah, so I'm like a caregiver to him right now.
Okay. How do you balance parenting and caregiving, all of them together?
Uh, it's tough on some days, but basically quite easy because I think Rajiv, my husband, is very cooperative and quite independent, and a huge support because he's very positive. So half my battle is won there, and it's quite easy that way. And my children, while they're going through their own issues, they also help, and I think they're growing up, so they're realizing themselves that this is a time when they need to cooperate and do the best. And I think they are a huge support to me, especially mentally and physically. And my mom's with me, so she just her being around me makes me feel safe. Yeah, so I balance it that way. Some days are crazy, but most days are okay, manageable.
So yes, tell us about what have you faced in this journey? What are the challenges that you've come across as a caregiver?
Actually, I don't think there is any manual for caregiving. I just go about it quite instinctively, and it just comes along. Whatever comes along, you face it. Some days can be really bad, but I cannot really pinpoint one particular difficult time because I feel that I'm trying to take each and every situation as a challenge, and at the end of it, I want to win that challenge. So I try and be as positive as possible. And again, I'll bring up my husband here because I think what he does is he tries to encourage me to not dwell on the problem, but to overcome it and go on with life. Don't drag yourself down, because I think when you go beyond the challenge, you come out stronger. So I think I'm going with that. I'm trying at least in whatever way I can. It's not that it's easy at all. There are definitely, it will be unreasonable and unrealistic for me to say that it's not difficult. There are times when I completely break down, and eh, but I pick myself up from there. So yeah, it's been okay. I mean, I'm trying to do my best here.
You know, Seema, even when we all used to work together at Caregiver Saathi, um, my friends and I, we were a huge fan of you and Raj couple. But just that, that Jody just working through the challenges. So tell us about your relation with Rajiv and what the journey of caregiving and illness has been.
See, it all started with complete distraught and depression, and we went through sad times. We cried a lot. I cried a lot. I was like, "What is happening?" I just felt that it was so unfair that this had happened to Rajiv and to me. And and we, we it for a period of time we kept blaming everything inside. But then we realized that, why do that when, you can, we have something good right now. Just let's try and, get on with it and try and make this situation better. And I think that has worked for us, and I'm trying to continue that now. We Rajiv and I mean, we met 19 years back, and it was quite a fairy tale way we met. And and for me, yes, he was the knight in shining armor, and I've, anything touching him affected me completely, because when we got married, I thought he was stronger in every way, and in health definitely. And when I got to know, or when we got to know that he got diagnosed with ALS, a completely alien disease, and so drastic, it hit us completely. We were really shattered. But today, I think, we're trying out all kinds of things to make the situation better. And that way, that has made Rajiv and me stronger, our relationship stronger. We still have our fights, and we still have times when we are sad, but many a time I think we pull each other out of situations which are depressing us. And we've got two lovely children who, we have to be there for, and we want to just make it perfect for them and not let anything touch them. So that's how it's going to be.
So, Seema, tell us more about those difficult feelings and emotions that you had to deal with, and later on, how did you sit with them, and whom did you have around you to, talk about it?
My see, when we got to know about the disease, at that point, in the beginning we didn't realize how dire it is. We read about it, we met many doctors, we got to know about it, and we realized how scary the disease was, and we were really worried as to how we should communicate to our children. So and both of them are at that really tender age, the teenage, and Kea, my daughter, is in 10th, and she has her own stress with the boards. Then this pandemic hit, and lots of uncertainties. And Krishiv is, he is the kind of child who takes a little time to understand. He's quiet, he keeps things inside him, he doesn't really talk about it, while Kea lets us know how she feels. So we decided, Rajiv and I sat them down, and it was just us and the two children, and we sat them down and explained to them what the situation is, and we tried to be as open about it. We didn't really go so much into detail, but they have the internet, they have Google, they have all of that. So I'm not sure what they Googled. Maybe they did, but we told them, don't Google because it sounds scary. Talk to us about it. And since they have both, four of us have an open relationship, it was easier for them to talk to us. There are days when they break down, especially Kea, and she gets nervous about it and worried about it, because for her, her father is a hero. So yeah, it's tough, but I think we dealt with it at that point. We'll deal with it as we go along, depending on how things work out. Actually, you can never be ready for what's going to happen. It's just as we go along, we're just going to take it as it comes. So as a caregiver, it was difficult. It is difficult for me because what happens is that I have to make sure that my children are not too affected. um, I have to make sure that I don't show my emotions so much with Rajiv, because he should not feel down. And uh, and I have to be also, as positive about it to myself, so that I don't get myself down. So it is a very catch 22 situation for me. So
We've always looked up to you for how you carry yourselves. Uh,
yeah, I mean that, yeah. See, that time that I used to come to Caregiver Saathi, those few hours, it was refreshing for me because I was picking up work after having a long break, and having you youngsters around me, it was refreshing. And Bhavna and Anish also being around and giving the advice and all of that, it just I just felt very comfortable over there. It's sad that this pandemic cut it short, but at some point, hopefully, I'll be back in the Caregiver Sati family. I am, still am, but, work with you guys again. So
Yes.
yeah, looking forward to
So,
that.
yeah. And so tell us about your career, how about the gap and then you catching up with work and it being
Yeah,
a source of putting your potential to use.
yeah.
Uh,
So getting back to work was a tough decision to make. And it sort of literally fell in my lap when Bhavna approached me. And within a few seconds, I said yes, and I went and met her. And I realized that it it was like a huge dose of medicine for me, because it was like coming out of a situation of, it was right in the beginning of me getting to know of Rajiv's illness, where I used to feel really down. And or there were moments when I used to be with Rajiv and we used to talk only about the illness. And those few hours when I stepped out of home and I was my own person and I was feeling independent, I was feeling that I was doing something to help and to contribute to home, it just felt good and made me feel in, in control. And I think getting back to work was a good feeling. So I think everyone, who is a caregiver should not just sit at home, or even if they sat at home, to do something else. Like, I like writing, so I've started writing. I um, off and on, I just dabble in art and small things like that, which just make me feel like, I'm doing something other than just being a caregiver. So yeah. So it was easy getting back to work uh, in an environment which was comfortable. And the fact that, the whole environment was so friendly and so comforting and understanding to a person like me. If I Even if I broke down in the middle of office, everybody was there to say we understand, and that was a beautiful feeling. So yeah, it was a good thing coming back after so many years to an organization like Caregiver Saathi. Yes. Mhm.
that's one of the reasons why organizations should be caregiver friendly, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think that is something which I think all organizations and HR should be given, some kind of a training for, because that is something, which I think is overlooked completely. Yeah,
Mm.
that's a new area maybe, so which should be explored. I think that's very good, because there'll be times, for professionals, when they will have to be at home or they will have to work from home. Now I think this pandemic has a flip side to it, where working from home is easy and people know that it works. So even a caregiver can sit at home and work and feel comfortable that he or she is at home to take care of his or her loved one. So I think that is an upside to this lockdown for caregivers, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah. So, talking about balancing tasks and personal life and caregiving responsibility, how have you been doing that? And do you have a support system other than your family to help with that?
I've been quite lucky to have friends who've reached out to not just me, to Rajiv. Rajiv has a beautiful circle of friends. They've done the most amazing thing. When they got to know about Rajiv's illness, they've done something which I don't know who does in this day and age. They've actually set up a trust for me and the kids. God forbid something should happen to Rajiv. And I'm so touched and grateful to each one of them, who set aside some amount of money every month for us. That's amazing. So things like that. There are people who reach out to me on a regular basis asking me how I'm feeling or what's happening with me, how can they help. I have friends who call me almost every week, and we chat, and everyone is just very supportive. Strangers have, in the building, for instance, the strangers have come up to me and tried to help me. And it's just been marvelous. I recently took Rajiv for his Ayurvedic treatment in Coimbatore, where my best friend stays, and she set up the whole thing. And I used to shuttle between Coimbatore and Bombay because Kea was having prelims, and I was so relieved to know that Sadhna, my friend Sadhna, was in Coimbatore taking care. I didn't have to worry about Rajiv. It was just good, and the doctors and all the people in the several hospitals that we've visited, they've been, more than supportive and kind, and never judged. And it was just I've just had a good experience, till now. So I'm very grateful for that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great to have financial respite and medical support.
Yeah.
Other than that, do you have those who provide you with emotional support, or anything that you do for yourself to, ensure that you have uh, a source of emotional support? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the kind of person who doesn't keep too much inside me, so I talk a lot. I speak a lot to Rajiv. I speak a lot to my children. I speak to my sister. My sister has always been a support for me through my life. So she is one person who I talk to. I have friends, really good friends who I can reach out to at any time of the day or night. I have a family, my cousins, my aunts and uncles who've also, like in every way they've told me that, whatever you need, we are there for you. So it's just knowing that someone's got your back, that makes it feel good. Other than that, I have an area where I let out my, that's my me time, is when I feed and take care of many strays. There's stray dogs and stray cats, and it could be any animal. I make sure that every day I pack at least about 25 odd boxes of food, and I take it down and feed the animals. And um, and I also tell myself that each day I should do one good thing for somebody and make a difference. And I think that makes me feel really good about myself, and I feel that, I believe in karma. So I feel that all that good karma that I'm accumulating will go to Rajiv and to my children, and of course to me. But yeah, but I mean, I really believe in doing all of this, and that makes me feel happy. And I think that is the time which is really really precious to me. I also try chanting and meditating. Yoga is something thought I could try, but I'm just no good at yoga. My mind wanders too much, and it's difficult for me to concentrate. But yeah, I mean, exercise is another form of uh, way of letting go of stress, which I promise myself that I should start again. I will. I think I will. I mean, I must.
I'm just sending you hugs and love.
Oh, back at you, Anjali. Thank you so
Always.
much.
Yeah, there's always so much to learn from you, and so much of hope in your journey. I want to know that, Seema, from you. I want you to share that gem with others, those who are watching the live, the role of hope that has played in your caregiving journey.
Yeah, I think, with caregiving, it depends on what kind of caregiving you're doing and to who. But each day is precious, and I feel that when you have this at the end, like there's always a light at the end of the tunnel, and that I completely believe. And I believe in miracles, so it may not be medically possible, but somehow I've always believed in miracles. And I believe that when you start anything with a belief, and the fact that you have hope, and you feel that whatever you do it well, and it'll all, you just take out the positives from it, and it's all going to work out fine. I really believe that. And uh, it could be, there are, like, there's nothing called a successful caregiving, but I feel that the little successes, it could be a small thing from, maybe you feel that there's a little bit of improvement in your loved one, a small victory, that is good in itself, and that is like fuel for me. So I feel that when you live for that little bit of hope and belief, and you carry on the journey trying to be as positive as possible, it really works. And yeah, that is something that everybody should in caregiving try to do. And never ever be in a situation where you feel that you can't cry. I think it's okay to cry. It's okay to reach out to friends, family. It's okay to, you'll be amazed how many people want to be there for you and are just waiting for you to ask. And you know I just feel that I've learned that very early in my caregiving journey, where probably in Caregiver Saathi itself, where we had support groups which I attended, which really helped me. I still attend a few. And we could break down, we could cry, we could do, anything, any form of emotion, and there was someone or the other just there for you. And it could be a hug, it could be, we could all be crying at the same time, But it was the most amazing feeling. So even talking to another caregiver who's going through what you're going through, um, is worth it. I think, that is something which I think everyone should do. I think, build your little circles, and they're there for you strong. So Aditi, Nabya, Bhavna, y'all have been there. I have picked up the phone and talked to y'all. I've broken down, and y'all have just stood by me. You didn't even have to say anything. I knew you were listening, and that was good enough for me. So yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you for sharing. That reminds me, you've highlighted the point that it is very important to talk. And
Yeah.
it is very important to cry, share your emotions. On that note, Seema, please share one of your memories, one of the stories that you've shared with us, with others too.
About caregiving,
Yeah,
yeah,
as a
okay,
caregiver. Yeah.
as a caregiver. So, yeah, I'll tell you a recent one. When we went off to Coimbatore for this, it was going to be a 3 week thing, which became a 5 week thing. And Rajiv and I used to joke with all our friends and family that ये तो हमारा second honeymoon है. So, because we didn't really have the kids around, even though, of course, we were on calls with them and my mom was here to take care of them, we felt that they were safe. And so we were happy, both of us together. It was really a second honeymoon because we've not been together alone together for, I mean, I don't know, since the time my children have come along, I suppose. And it was really nice to have each other. We behaved like as if we were really on a honeymoon. We played games, we chatted, we listened to music, we watched movies. It was all in the hospital, but it was really nice. And the Coimbatore was beautiful. It was beautiful weather also. So it really felt like as if we had gone off on a second honeymoon. So it was really nice chatting about all sorts of things, and which you don't really sit down and chat. And there was really nothing for Rajiv. Didn't have to attend to anything. I didn't have to attend to anything, and it was really nice. So that is one thing which I'll treasure forever. It was a time where we were there for a treatment, but it was not really treatment. It was treatment for me also, because I think both of us just remembered so many things that we might have forgotten all these years. And we just had a nice few weeks together, even though it was like in between. I had to keep moving in and out, but I used to look forward to going to Coimbatore to Rajiv. There was just some kind of a romance to it, which is really nice.
Wow, that's so sweet. So I'm really happy that you are sharing your story with us, and so more people can come to know how your sweet little relation with Rajendra. It's just working out beautifully, even through the caregiving journey. So, is there anything that you want to add? You want to, as an advice or a message to other caregivers? I mean, I'm sure there's already a lot that they can take away from this conversation, but anything that you want to add?
um, I think to caregivers, I think they're doing the best. They should know that they're doing their best, and that they should not get themselves down, and that there's always someone or the other there to listen to you and waiting for you to talk to them. So please reach out. Never ever feel that you're alone. Never feel you're alone, because you are not. There is always a community of people who are wanting to be there for you. And please attend support group meetings, because that really helps. When you share, when you speak your mind, it just helps you. Just and it's completely non-judgmental. Nobody is judging, and it's a beautiful feeling to be in a circle which is safe. And I think try and be as hopeful and positive as possible. And to the erstwhile caregiver, I would like to reach out to the youngsters, actually, which I was doing in Caregiver Saathi, where they should know that at any given point of time, everybody is a caregiver, and a youngster will be a caregiver at some point. So if you get a chance to intern with Caregiver Saathi or with an organization where you are taking care of people, I think you should actually get into that. Volunteering is a beautiful thing. It's in any form, whether you're taking care of the elder, whether you're taking care of animals, whether you're taking care of people who are sick. Volunteer. I mean, it's a beautiful feeling to be a part of that journey. And I think it's a very noble thing to do. And I think, that's what I would tell youngsters and erstwhile caregivers.
That's great. How are you feeling right now?
A bit emotional, but all in all, I'm feeling really good because I feel like as if I'm back in Caregiver Saathi and I'm feeling comfortable talking to you. And it's good. It's good to catch up and chat about things which maybe I haven't talked about for a while now. And thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk about whatever I go through and what each day is for me like.
Thank you for sharing. Yeah, thank you for, it's very rare that that you have seen that caregivers aren't often willing to share the story, right? It's
Yeah,
good for them. But I hope that your gesture will encourage more caregivers to come forward and share the stories.
yeah, that will be really nice. It'll be really nice.
Yes.
It'll be helpful for me as well to hear from
Yeah.
other caregivers.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, all the best, Seema.
Thank you. And same to you,
Keep
Anjali.
going. Yes, thank you. And meet you soon.
Yes.
This is not it.
Yeah.
So, yes, thank you.
Thanks. Thanks, Anjali.
Bye bye.
Bye. Bye.